Once again, our moderator for this evening, Ms. Paige Durham from Germanna Community College.
Good evening, and we're going to begin with a 2-minute introduction. And Ms. Hutchins, would you like to begin?
Certainly, thank you. Good evening. I'd like to thank the Chamber and Germanna for this opportunity. I'm a native of Culpeper, a graduate of CCHS and Mary Washington College. I'm the mother of 2 CCHS graduates and the wife of a retired Culpeper teacher and coach. I taught at CMS, substituted while raising our children, and served 16 years on the school board. I'm the only candidate with educational experience. And experience matters, especially at this time when we're facing the challenges of recovery from the pandemic and a new wave of growth in student population. I'm passionate about public education. I believe all children should have access to a high-quality education. I have dedicated my entire life to the children of Culpeper County as a professional educator or a volunteer. I believe to be successful that we must work as a team to provide the best education possible for our children. I'm an advocate for parents, an advocate for students, and an advocate for teachers. Having been in the classroom, I know the importance of teamwork for student success. Parents, teachers, students, and community members must work together to help each child reach their potential and become active, productive citizens. We must work to get our students caught up, providing additional support for those who are struggling and additional challenges for those who are soaring. We must stop the exodus of highly qualified teachers. Hiring new, inexperienced recruits is costly both financially and in the quality of education we provide. We must be prepared for the increase in student population. We must provide a safe learning environment for all students. And I hope to be serving the next 4 years, once again, serving the Stevensburg District.
Thank you. Ms. Medley, 2 minutes, please.
Thank you. Also, thank you for hosting this event, to Germanna as well, and to everybody who took their time to come out and become educated on the issues and the candidates tonight. I do have a mailer on the table in the back. I've sent it out to all the Stevensburg residents, so I'm not going to spend time telling you about my background and things like that. If you haven't picked it up, please feel free to take one off my table. One thing I do want to say is I'm not a Culpeper native, but I have 4th and 5th generation great-grandfathers and great-grandmothers who were born in Culpeper in the 1700s. So, yeah, we come and we go. We're back. I was actually raised in rural northern Idaho. It's a real strong agricultural and timber industry area of the country. My graduating high school class had 93 students. So it's very similar, I feel, to how Culpeper has grown over time, and the issues would be similar to what we see here in Culpeper. And I love Culpeper. This is my forever home, military family, moved around the country, around the world. We're here, we're settled, we're retired, this is our home. My grandson, Jack, just started pre-K here in Culpeper Schools, so we're going to be involved with the schools for a long time to come. As far as teaching, I haven't been a public school teacher, but I have taught in military schools, and I was a substitute in California in the public school system, so I do have some teaching experience. One of the things I really appreciate about Culpeper is its diversity, cultural diversity, and I think I'll hopefully get to talk to about that more because the light's showing me I'm running out of time, and so I won't get time to finish that thought, so I'll leave it with that. Thank you.
Thank you. For the first question this evening, I'm going to start with Ms. Medley, and here it is. What are your priorities for the district in the coming year? Why and how did you select these issues?
Some of my priorities, and this is one that will lead into that. I have previous black ex-husband and 3 biracial children. And so one of my big concerns is coming up, as of the 1st of May, the state public employees can now negotiate their contracts with the school districts. And if you look at the Virginia Education Association's website, I have a printout of it here, it's hard to find, but they specifically say they will make the union's organizing to bargain campaign our top priority, and they actively support Black Lives Matters movement in school. For me, that's a priority to be proactive, to find ways to make sure our community is cohesive and our race relationships are strong, so that we don't have outside entities coming in and telling us how we should educate our child. If we try to bring more Black Lives Matter into the schools, what does that say to our Hispanic kids? What does that say to our other Middle Eastern and Indian and Asian kids? Says, well, you don't have white privilege. You're not black, so black lives don't matter. I mean, black lives do matter. So what do those kids take away from it? I don't matter. That to me is a priority, and I think we need to be proactive in reaching out to other constituents in our county to make sure that we're strong, cohesive, we have working groups, that when the union comes in and tries to push these negotiations, that we are able to have a firm standing of what we believe and how we function as a community.
Thank you. Ms. Hutchins, would you like the question repeated?
No, I think I have it. Thank you. The priorities that I see for the upcoming year and years to come, first, our support for our teachers and our students. The last year has been an incredible struggle for everyone, parents too, and grandparents who were helping to educate their children at home during the pandemic. So providing the support that all of those stakeholders need in order to get our children back on track academically. There are gaps, serious gaps for certain sectors of our community, student community, and we need to address those. Teacher retention, there's a national shortage of teachers. We had a large number of teachers leave Culpeper County, and we need to know why. What are we not doing that will continue experienced teachers staying with us? And as I said before, hiring new recruits is certain, it's possible, although there are fewer who are going into the career of teaching. But when you have to train a new recruit, it's expensive for the county, and your children don't have the value of the experience of somebody who's been there for 15, 20 years. Also, I think the school board needs to work once again, I think we've lost some of that on the board, in improving transparency and open communication with parents and community members. I think that some of the meetings have been moved to times that are not as convenient for parents to attend and to provide their input. And I think all of these are tied, some of these are definitely tied to, as a result to the pandemic. But moving forward, we need to improve the relationships with our community stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second question this evening, Ms. Hutchins, I'm going to begin with you. Our students have dealt with a lot of changes throughout the past 3 school years. What should the school board do to support our schools in meeting the mental health needs of our youth?
Mental health is not an issue just for students, it's an issue for teachers as well. They've been under a great deal of strain trying to reach all of their students, many who don't log in on the computer when the teacher is there, and the teachers have no recourse. There's no ability for them to engage the student. Mental health issues, there are over 130,000 children and adolescents that suffer with serious mental illness, and only 1 in 5 of those children get the help that they need. The school system has provided a training for some of our teachers, and this is mandated by the state, for mental health training, and it's called Mental Health First Aid, and it's a program where teachers can be given the skills to identify some warning signs. Culpeper has had a long history of suicide, and it's terribly frightening. We have many, many parents who've lost their children to that. And so providing the support in the school system where the teachers can recognize it early on and direct the students to the appropriate help that they can receive within the community through the Rappahannock-Rapidan Community Service Board and the professionals that are here is we need to expand on that and provide as many opportunities as we can for the students to be able to connect to that. And provide support for our teachers too, because they need it as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Medley, would you like the question again?
Yes, please.
Our students have dealt with a lot of changes throughout the past 3 school years. What should the school board do to support our schools in meeting the mental health needs of our youth?
Under the American Rescue Plan Act, elementary and such secondary school emergency relief funds, so these are funds that the school just got under the new federal funds that come in. I've read this plan that the school has placed on their website. I think they're doing a really good job of utilizing the funds that they have to be proactive to meeting the mental health needs as they emerge from students. Elizabeth mentioned the mental health first aid for youth. So according to their statement, they've done a needs assessment last year for all the students, and they're doing one again in 2021. They're hiring new behavior interventionists, which are certified counselors. They've got certified counselors coming in from SAFE. They're addressing students with the dropout problem, and they're bringing in a new social emotional learning module to seniors. So I think these are all great things. I think the school as a whole is recognizing that COVID has taken a toll on their students and their teachers, and they're doing a really good proactive job in addressing it. One concern that I did hear as I was out talking to people is ADHD. Seems to be a diagnosis that's not really treated well in the Culpeper County schools. There's been a couple of cases that I've heard of where the student was actually expelled because of behavior issues, but once the student on their own expense went to a medical facility and got the proper medication, so that they're now able to control themselves in the classroom, they come back and they're fine. So I'd like to see more emphasis put on those type of screenings, and instead of assuming that it's a discipline problem, then do some medical screening for ADHD.
Thank you. And now 2 minutes for your closing remarks. Ms. Medley, you may begin first.
Couple of things I wanted to point out. If you look at my flyer again, we talked about priorities in my first question, and I do have bulleted items that Elizabeth talked about there, and I agree with everything she says. I think she's right on with those priority issues. I had one card here, where'd it go? So in closing, I am a proactive researcher. My last job for the federal government for approximately 10 years was researching issues. They were different issues, but still, I'm the person that will go out and look at Virginia education site and see what's coming down the pike. When we talk about critical race theory, I've spent a lot of time, because I, like many of you, have heard those 2-minute sound bites that make you think, oh my God, this is terrible. Is it really happening in Culpeper schools? Everything I've been able to research says it's not. But there are some things that are concerning, and I'm the person that will read things like a framework for understanding whiteness in mathematics education. Now, what is whiteness in mathematics education? And as I'm reading this thing, things like expecting children to sit quietly and only talk when called upon is an example of whiteness. And that's a bad thing in public education. So not only do I promise to listen to my constituents, my background in social work, I think I'm a real good active listener, but I'm also going to be a proactive researcher to look at what's coming down the pike for us before it arrives on our doorstep, so that we as a community can prepare for these issues and come, like we always say, Culpeper strong. We're united, we know who we are, we're a really strong, integrated community, I believe, and I want to keep us that way.
Thank you. Ms. Hutchins, 2 minutes, please.
Experience matters. Knowing how the system works and what has been tried in the past will help us to find the path forward to improve our schools. I will listen to parents, as I always have, and bring their concerns to the board. I will listen to our teachers and work to improve the work environment. I will work to keep the focus on academics and to provide additional opportunities that will help our students to be successful. To quote Harold S. Geenan, former president of ITT, words are words, promises are promises, but performance is reality. I have a proven performance record. I was part of the team that built Yale Elementary, Eastern View High School, and the C-Tech building. I've worked to provide safer buildings with secure vestibules. I've worked to expand our educational opportunities, especially with the Mountain Vista Governor's School. I've served as chair and vice chair of the board and on practically every committee that the board has. In the past 4 years, I've served as an E-squared coach, so I have been working with that program and with the students. I'm nonpartisan. I'm not endorsed by any party or representing any party. My agenda is to do what is best for our students. I will work to retain experienced, qualified teachers and staff. I'll work for transparency in school board actions and improve communications with parents and community members. I'll work to provide a safe learning environment for all students and staff. I have the time, the knowledge, the experience, and the dedication to serve the citizens of the Stevensburg District and the students of Culpeper. I greatly appreciate the support that I have received from across the county, and I would appreciate your vote for school board for Stevensburg. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming this evening and participating in the forum.
Thank you once again to all of our candidates here tonight. Thank you to Paige Durham for serving as our moderator. Thank you to Culpeper Media Network, Jonathan and Nicole, for serving as our video specialists. Ian Keeney with INL DJing, doing a wonderful job on our sound tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We appreciate you, and we look forward to you voting on November 2nd.